Good night and welcome to another Mr. James Accounting tutorial. Tonight we are going to look at one of the CXC board topics that was released, the manufacturing account. I will give you a comprehensive example and it's taken from the past papers, so at the same time you will get to see how to solve a problem on the past paper. So let's get right into it. The question we are going to look at tonight is manufacturing account 2018 CSEC POE paper 2 number 5. So let's get right into it. Okay, let's take a look at the question itself. And this was the best copy I could get on short notice. And let's read what is required. Prepare the manufacturing account for JC Enterprises, JC Garments, for the year ended 31st December 2017. Label clearly the cost of raw materials consumed, prime cost, total cost of production. 17 marks. Part B, KC Garments produced 40,000 uniforms for the year. What is the production cost per unit? Show workings clearly. 3 marks. So 17 and 3 will give you 20 marks for it. I'm not going to read into the figures here. Read them out, that will just make the video too long, right? What we have here are the inventories at the beginning of the year and inventories at the end of the year here. The raw materials 37,000 and 29,600. Work in progress 31,200 and 36,300. Okay, so we'll get right into the answer. First, we must get our heading correct. KC Garments manufacturing account for the year ended 31st December 2017. Okay. Who, what, when. And next, we start first with the raw materials. We're gonna work it out in 2 columns. Our opening inventory 37,000. To that, we're gonna add the purchases of raw materials, and from that we're gonna minus any returns. We get 100,003, and then we'll add on the cost of transportation to bring those purchases to our premises, 12,000, and the cost of the materials that are available to the factory would be 149,300. We minus the closing inventory and we will get the cost of raw materials used or consumed. Okay, now to get this figure, you always have these things in here. The purchases, the returns, the carriage inwards, or the raw materials available when you add it to the opening stock. And we minus the closing inventory, we will get the cost of raw materials. It's always the same, so you can take a half an hour and memorize this if it takes you that long, and you'll have it ready for your exam. We add to that the direct labor costs. We are told that 60% of the wages is direct labor costs, so we multiply it by 60% and we get 3,240. I have included the direct expenses here so you can see where it goes to make the example comprehensive. this problem itself does not have direct expenses, but if you get it in your exams, this is where it will go. You must add on all the direct costs to get the prime course, right? Here I have included the things that they ask for: cost of raw materials used, prime cost in capital letters, so the examiner can see, and you as well can see, that we have answered that part of the question. Okay, now the rest of the manufacturing account usually continues right under here, but since I can't fit them on the slide, I've put it on another slide, so I will continue this in the other slide. Okay, so we start back this slide with where we left off on the last slide, the prime cost of 149,940. I'll show you that the thing is continuous. Then to that we will add the factory overheads. Notice again I put it in capitals because that's one of the things we might be asked for. The indirect wages would be the total wages, again multiply by 40% this time. Remember we had 60 as direct labor, right? And 40% would be indirect wages, so we'll get 20,160. And the salaries, no adjustments to that, 125,000. Rent and rates, 35,600 by 75% is for the factory. The other 25% is for the administration buildings. Insurance, 9,150. Electricity, 162,400. And depreciation, we are told is 20%. So we calculate all that and we add them up. And we want to add it on to our prime course. Now here students normally make a mistake and minus it, like if they are doing a profit and loss account. Okay, you don't have to minus the expenses because this is expenses as well here. Prime cost, right? Notice the word cost. This is factory overhead cost. Right? So the total comes up to total factory overheads 403,410. And we'll add these two figures here now, and we will get our total production cost of 553,350. That is the total cost, but we must adjust that for unfinished goods and so on. The working process on the 1st of January, we add it on, and we'll get 584, 550. And from that we will minus the working process at the end of the year, because these are unfinished. We'll get 36,500, and the production cost of finished goods is the result, 548,050 dollars. Okay, so that's the our manufacturing account as required by CSEC. Although there is no set format, I would think that you would want to use a format similar to this, to just two columns, and your label is coming on this side. Now, if you notice the manufacturing account, you would notice that everything is more or less added up except the returns, which is minus, and the inventories, the closing inventory for raw materials and the closing inventory for work in process. So if you can add everything else and minus those figures, you would still get the production cost of finished goods, right? Okay, but the accountants like to be fancy and get them under the correct headings. That shows you know what you are doing. Okay, so let's move on to the next part of the question, which is really costing. Simple question. A part B requires us to calculate the production cost per unit. Okay. The production cost per unit is equal to the production cost of finished goods. That's the last line on the manufacturing account, and it's divided by the number of units produced. The last line on the manufacturing account was $548,050, and the number of units produced was 40,000. We divided by 40,000 to get the cost per unit. And when we get the cost per unit, we can multiply that by a percentage and calculate how much profit we want to get. Add it on, we'll get our selling price. Okay, so the production cost is $13.70 per unit. Okay, we'll gain another 3 marks for this. Okay, right. So this here is the costing that you have to remember as well. We'll gain another 3 marks for it. Okay. Okay, so that brings us to the end of the topic. I'll try to produce a few more for you before your exams on Monday, and you can look at them and see how to work problems in the area. They are already some up on the YouTube channel right here, and you can take a look at those and be prepared thoroughly for your exam. I want to do a little thing on the multiple choice because I realized most people did not know that you could get the topics from off your syllabus. Okay, so God bless in your exams. I hope you perform well. Now maybe you can let me know what your grades are. I will be looking forward to you getting grade ones. So long. See you in your A-level class, hopefully.